Hello everyone, this is Ria Auntie here, and today I have come back with a new story. I'm very sorry it took me quite some time to come back, but I've got a very interesting story for you all. Okay, so the name of the story is A Squash and a Squeeze. This book is written by Julia Donaldson and it is illustrated by Axel Schaffler. Right? So, what do you mean by a squash and a squeeze? Squashing is when you're crushing somebody, and squeezing is when like you squeeze an orange, like when you push something from all sides. Okay? So let's see. Let's go and read A Squash and a Squeeze. Fine? Chalo. Now the story starts with a little old lady lived all by herself with a table and chairs and a jug on the shelf. So there was once an old lady who stayed all by herself in her house. She had tables, chairs and a jug on her shelf. So there's a description of her house. But a little old lady wasn't very happy. One day she met a wise old man and she was complaining to the wise old man. The wise old man heard her grumble and grouse. Then what was the old lady complaining about? Let's find out. There's not enough room in my house. Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze. So, the old lady here is telling the wise old man, there's not enough room in my house. Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze. So, she thinks her house is really small and she's not happy living in the house. The wise old man heard her patiently and said, take in your hand. Take in my hand? What a curious plan, thought the wise old, little old lady. But the little old lady nevertheless took her hen inside her house. Now the hen laid an egg on the fireside rug. Look, the hen has laid an egg on the rug. And it flapped around the room, knocking over the jug. And the hen flapped around, knocking the jug. So, do you think now the old lady's problems are solved with the hen? Did it help it? Did it help making her house bigger? Let's see what she feels like that. What she feels now. What shall I do? Looking at all this, she said, what shall I do now? It was pokey. It was pokey for one and it's tiny for two. My nose has a tickle and there's no room to sneeze. My house is a squash and a squeeze. So the old lady wasn't happy. She said it was small for one, now it's very tiny for two. Then again, so her problems were not solved. So she went back to the wise old man and said, wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze. So the old lady is very troubled. The wise old man heard what the old lady said patiently. And then it said, take in your goat. Take in my goat? What a curious plan. Nevertheless, the old lady took in her goat. Now let's see what the goat does. Well, the goat chewed the curtains and trod on the egg. Oh, so God started chewing the curtains and it kept on trotting. Trotting in a sense, it was walking all over and it broke the egg. Can you see the egg being broken? And then after chewing the curtain and breaking the egg, the goat sat next to the table and he started nibbling on the table leg. So now the goat is chewing curtains in the house, nibbling on the table's leg. And the old lady saw all this and says, "Glory be!" She said, "Oh my God, it was tiny for two and it's titchy for three. The hen pecks the goat and the goat got fleas." Sorry, okay. "My house is a squash and a squeeze." So the old lady's problem was not gone, even after getting the goat inside the house. So she was very troubled. Again, she went to the wise old man and she said, "Wise old man, want to help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." The wise old man heard the lady patiently, and this time, let's see what advice he gives. The wise old man thought for a while and he said, "Take in your pig." "Take in my pig? What a curious plan." But nevertheless, the old lady took in the pig. Now the pig, as it entered the house, the pig started running after the hen. So she took in her pig, who kept chasing the hen. And the pigs raided the larder again and again. So the larder is a place where you stock all the food. So the pig chased the hen and started raiding and taking out all the eatables and chomp, 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 eating and creating a huge mess. Oh. Poor old lady. This doesn't look good. I don't think it looks good. Do you think she'll be happy? I don't think so. Let's see. Oh my God, the lady is shocked at what's happening in her house. Then she said, the old lady said, "Stop! I implore, stop raiding or eating up all my food. It was titchy for three and it's teeny. You can't even see for four." Even the pig in the larder agrees. Even the pig is saying that this house is too small. It is a squash and a squeeze. And the lady said, "Enough. I have to go to the wise old man again." Boom. She went to the wise old man and said, "Wise old man, want to help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze. It is really troubling me. Please help me." The wise old man was calm and patient and he listened carefully to what the lady said. And then he said, "Take in your cow." "Take in my cow? You think that will help it?" "Okay." And she took in the cow. Now, the cow took one look and charged straight at the pig. The cows started chasing the pig and then jumped on the table and tapped out a jig. So basically, it first charged the pig. It ran behind the pig again and again. And then the cow jumped on the table and started having a nice dance. Okay. So if you see the picture here, everybody seems to be enjoying quite a lot. The cow is dancing, the goat is smiling. Look at the pig, even he is enjoying himself. The hen is also flapping and enjoying. But the old lady, oh my God, poor old lady, she seems very upset and very harrowed, right? Poor thing. Let's see. So then she said, "Heavens alive, it was teeny for 4 and it's now weeny for 5. I'm tearing my hair out. I'm down on my knees. My house is a squash and a squeeze." And he said, "Enough, let me go back." And he went to the wise old man and said, "Wise old man, why don't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." She said like that. She was really, really upset. Then the wise old man heard her patiently as usual and said, Take them all out. Take them, then the lady thought for a while. Take them all out? But then I'll be back where I first began. So how does that solve my problem? But the wise old man never said so. So the old lady did exactly the same thing. She opened the window and out flew the hen. That's better. At last I can sneeze again. She shooed out the goat and she shoved out the pig. My house is beginning to feel pretty big, she said. So she took the hen, the goat, and the pig is gone. Which animal is there? The cow. She huffed and puffed and she pushed out the cow. And she huffed and puffed and pushed out the cow. I said, just look at my house. It feels enormous. Wow, finally the old lady is happy. And then she went to the wise old man happily and said, Thank you, old man, for the work you have done. It was weeny for 5, it's gigantic for 1. There's no need to grumble and there's no need to grouse. There's plenty of room in my house. So now the old lady feels the house is very big and she was very happy. Can you see? She's so happy and dancing and all smiles. And now she's full of frolics and fiddly-dees. It isn't a squash and it isn't a squeeze. Yes, she's full of frolic and fiddly-dees. It isn't a squash, it isn't a squeeze. So this is the end of the story. Did you like it? I think it's really nice. So at the end of the story, the old lady was exactly in the same place where she began. But there's a big difference. What's the difference, children? The difference is in how she views it. At initial place, the starting or the beginning of the story, she was very upset. She thought, I am having all the troubles in the world. My house is too thin. I don't have this. She kept on looking only at the negatives. So she wasn't happy. And she could not, or she wasn't able to see anything positive. But when her house became smaller and smaller with more occupants, who were coming to stay in her house, the hen, the goat, the pig, and the cow, she realized her house is actually big. And once they moved away, she realized what is being big. So there are two things she realized. One is that she realized what is actually a squash and a squish. A squash and a squish was staying in that tiny house with so many other occupants. Now with the occupants go, suddenly her perspective or her thinking, her look, way in which she looked at the situation changed. And she felt, wow, this is very nice house. I have so much space. So in life, how we view our attitude, how we see things is very important. If we see things with a positive light, even in the toughest of situations, we'll find a way to be happy. It is very important to see things in a positive way, to be grateful for the things that we have, so that if you're grateful and content, this will pave our way to happiness. So that is A Squash and a Squeeze by Julia Donaldson. Please let me know, children, how did you like the book, right? I really hope you liked the book. And thank you so much for listening to me. It's time to say goodbye now. Bye-bye.